Hello guys, we are from group 7 and let me introduce our group members. The first one is me, Jessica Caroline Bakpahan, Eva Yuliana, Farhan Ardianto, Erika Caroline Lilatifa, and the last one Mujibur Rahman. In this video, the topic we will explain is about humanism and its influence on the Elizabethan era.
Definitions of humanism have evolved throughout human history. There have been ideas that help to change society. Humanists believe in the importance of an education in classical literature and the promotion of civic virtue that is realizing a person's full potential both for their own good and for the good of the society in which they live. The difficulty in defining humanism and its ever evolving character have not prevented it being widely regarded as the defining feature of 1400 to 1600 Europe, and the very reason why that period can be identified as Renaissance or rebirth of ideas. Throughout human history, there have been ideas that help to change society. During the time of Renaissance, that ideas was primarily humanism, which is by definition a variety of ethical theory and practice that emphasizes reason, scientific inquiry, and human fulfillment in the natural world and often rejects the importance of belief in God.
The next is William Shakespeare and how he influenced by humanism ideology. One of the many people in this time period inspired by this idea was a William Shakespeare, which can be seen in his play and art topic Hamlet. Throughout its character and even Hamlet incorporates the many aspects of humanism throughout its story, including the promotion of human interest, rational thought, and human fulfillment in the natural world. However, not every idea is treated equally, as some are directly implemented while others are either implied or seen in contrast to the story. Of course, he was heavily influenced by the classical and Renaissance ideas of reason and of making and human individualism. But Shakespeare did not ever dismiss religion as untrue or the belief in God as unimportant. So in many cases, he could not be entitled a proper humanist. In fact, in many of Shakespeare's plays, the characters often believe in devils, ghosts, and witches believed they were familiar and very common at this time.
Next, humanism and its aspect. To refer to the term humanism, we are directed to the Renaissance period and a very imprecise definition of its exact meaning. This is mainly because it is a very complex word in which to attach a single definition to. To sum up, humanism with respect to Hamlet refers to human nature and the dignity of humanity. The Renaissance was a period which broke away from medieval thoughts and values that were now thought to be overly religious and constrictive, and formed new ideas that were focused upon the individual, in effect the birth of humanism and humanist thought.
Social aspect. Hamlet vain madness also summarized on the humanistic ideals of truth. As humanist, Hamlet thinks before he acts. He tries to weigh the consequence of his action, and he at least strives to make sense of the world before he moves to violence. The only way he can adhere to these ideals and not just run out and kill immediately is in the protection afforded by a mask of madness. But the harsh reality of the court does not contend with the ideal of truth. So as in the story, openly a made gift of flower has more truth in them than their receivers. Hamlet made ramblings often has a sarcastic truth to them that penetrates the falsehood in that court and society as a whole. In essence, the theme of madness in Hamlet explores the fragility of humanism in a world governed by raw power. It describes how new ideals of truth, freedom of choice, and ourselves clash with the confinement of traditional society and finally loses the battle with the depiction of madness, both real and pretended. The tragedy that happened in Hamlet shows how twisted and sick such world actually is. because if there are someone who is able to find the truth and adhere to it, it will resort to insanity or death. It applies how our society works to especially in Elizabethan era. When people from lower class got falsely arrested, they can do anything except giving in, and it helps everyone at that time.
Okay, now we move to religious aspect. Being born into a world in which religious beliefs are stamped upon Hamlet, and then being faced with new thoughts that allow him to question the mere existence of humanity creates an immense inconsistency for this character. This is mirrored throughout the play as we follow Hamlet on his journey through his conscience, his antique disposition, and what he believes is right and wrong. The Ghost highlights the unspeakable horrors that purgatory holds, but yet he still expects Hamlet to seek revenge on his murderer and therefore predetermine his own fate and reside in the same end as his father.
Political aspect. Hamlet is a play about which we should say that the political setting, state, court, foreign policy, elected monarchs, alleged usurpation, and regicide is simply the frame for a tragic psychological and ethical drama, which might just as well take place entirely within the confines of a household and family. Shakespeare sought to supply the setting of monarchs and court, but in his work, state, government, and politics is the frame only for emotion and feelings, for truth and dishonesty, for violence and sex, love and hate. However, he has to act a part in order to find and act on the truth. So Hamlet, the character, is a crucial instant not only of self-consciousness and interiority, but also of the individual struggling with the compromise of social norm and of political logic. The play is also received as an extraordinary, insightful study of intimate family conflict, especially a child's contradictory feelings about mother and father, and his mother's attachment to other.
Impact on how Hamlet reformed the society in Elizabethan era. William Shakespeare wrote Hamlet between 1599 and 1601, the end of Queen Elizabeth's reign. The play reflects its society by mirroring the monarchical form of government. Revealing social norms related to the time, it serves as a commentary on culture. Shakespeare displayed people of the Elizabethan age by showing the cultural and social conditions. Shakespeare's plays often reflected the atmosphere of the time, and so Hamlet includes the uneasiness about religion and succession. What exactly Hamlet is trying to say about these major themes is up for debate, and that is part of the mastery of Shakespeare's play.
In Hamlet, Shakespeare blends Catholic and Protestant traditions surrounding ghosts. Catholics believe in purgatory, while Protestants do not. The historical Catholic belief about ghosts was that they were the souls of the recently departed, often with unfinished business. The Protestants believe, generally, that ghosts were spirits, usually evil, that took over the bodies of the recently deceased or created convincing illusions targeted at specific people. At this time, a powerful queen ruled England. Yet, society was patriarchal and no one questioned men's authority. Men were responsible for the marriage. They could participate in politics, choose professions and education, and rule their lives. An area of women's duties includes household, parenting, and domestic service. In short, society viewed women as the weaker sex in everything. Their physical abilities, independence, emotional strength were considered less developed than of men. So, the only way to success for a woman was to have a successful marriage.
I say, we will have no more marriage. Those that are married already, all but one, shall live, the rest shall keep as they are. To honorary go, as stated in Hamlet, Act 3, Scene 1. In Hamlet, Shakespeare reflects this reality. The main character's need to avenge his father reveals strong family connection. Moments of the obedience and their devotion to family is demonstrated in Ophelia plotline. She stays away from Hamlet, following the instruction of her father and brother. I shall the effect of this good listen keep, as was meant to my heart, but good my brother, do not, as some ungracious pastors do, show me the step and throw me away to heaven, whilst, like a fool and reckless libertine, himself the primordial path of Delian streets, and risks not his own reed, as stated in Ophelia, Act 1, Scene 3.
In the tragedy of Hamlet, the main characters demonstrate different types of self-actualization, yet they are all peculiar to the era. Claudius develops a sense of fulfillment through striving for power and dominance. For Ophelia, self-actualization involves obedience and acceptance of others. Polonius needs social standing. Hamlet's and Leader's self-fulfillment is revenge for their father death. Has me to note that I, with wings as swift, a meditation or the thought of love, my swift to my revenge. A state in Hamlet, Action 1, Scan 5.